Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today you're a business person trying to build an amusement theme park. You'll be building attractions and rides, starting restaurants, hiring actors and mascots, opening hotels to earn credits and victory points. At the end, you're trying to be the most successful business person. WIshland is a worker placement game for 2 to 4 players, plays in 60 to 75 minutes for ages 14 and up, and published by Lost Games Entertainment. It's on Kickstarter right now, so I'm going to show you how the game works, and I'll see you on the other side. This is a Kickstarter preview, so any art and components you see here are not final. You're going to want to check the Kickstarter link in the description of this video to see all the final art and components. Now the game itself is played over 7 rounds, and each round players are going to have 4 turns, and most of the time they're going to be placing workers in this worker placement game. Over the course of the game you're going to be moving up on different tracks, like the happiness track, which will get you points as you get to different spots, and maybe unlock a bonus if you make it all the way to the end. Same thing for visitors. Every odd spot that you move up, you're actually going to be getting some money, which will help you improve your theme park, and you'll get a bonus as well if you get all the way to the end of this track. And you're trying to get the most points, and you'll keep track of those on this board. Now each player is going to pick a color, and they're going to get workers of that color. They'll start with 4 of them, and this is generally what they're going to look like. They do look cute like this. And once you've selected your color, you'll also get a ticket office card that looks something like this. Now each of the 7 rounds in those 4 turns, and on those turns you're going to go in turn order that is selected here by the players. We'll talk more about turn order later. Now here's the main board, and this board has lots of different card types on there. The yellow cards are rides, the blue ones are actors, the red ones are restaurants, the green ones are hotels, and the black ones are mascots. Now before players take their turns, each of them are going to get some income. They'll get 5 by default, and then some other cards that they may purchase may give them some more income, but they have some money to spend. Now on your turn, you're either going to be placing workers or taking workers back. When you place a worker, you're going to place them in one of the rows of the card type that you want to buy on the right side here. Like in this case, if we want to purchase a ride, we would put our worker here, and then we can purchase any one of these. The cost is at the upper left here. So it's the beginning of the game. Let's say we could buy this one for 2. Now these cards do different things, but not only do you have to pay for them, you then activate them. So we place them in front of us, and this tells us immediately. So immediately, when we buy this ride, we're going to get a victory point. So green would simply move up 1 on the victory point track. But let's say another player wanted to go here. Well, they have to pay 1 worker as normal, but they also have to pay 1 for every pile of workers that's there from different players. So in this case, they would have to pay 1 as normal, but another 1 because there was already a pile of workers there. They would have had to have paid 2, and they would have had to have had enough money to buy one of these. Let's just say they did, and they would, in this case, have gotten 3 points immediately. But let's say another player wanted to go there. Right now, there's 2 piles of workers, so that's 2 more than the normal 1. They actually would have to spend 3 workers in order to go here right now to spend and to buy one of these. Now you might be wondering, what is this icon? Well, this icon on pretty much all of the cards has to do with different mascots. And the black-backed cards are mascots. And on your turn, if you go to that spot to the right and you place your workers and you pay for these, you could take one of these mascots. And you can see this is the Ferris wheel. That's the icon that was on the bottom left of that card we had just bought on that ride. And you can see how cute the other art, the art is on these other mascots and the different icons they might have. So let's say on our next turn, other players would have went, but let's say it was our turn again. We could have gotten this card, paying 3. And so this mascot with this Ferris wheel is matching up with this. And so that might be a strategy for the game. I might be getting more of these and maybe even more of these mascots because it's going to give you some bonus points at the end of the game. I'll show you how that works later. Now as the turns and rounds go on, you might end up getting multiple types of the same card. Like in this case, we have 2 mascots. Now for this, since we have 2 mascots, we need to have 2 of at least rides and or the ticket offices here. So we have 2 of these, so we can have 2 of these. We cannot get another mascot until we get another ride or ticket office. So you can't just go all in on 1 card without expanding the rides and such. Now each time you get a black mascot card, you'll also get a reward. For example, your first one, you'll get one of these purple ticket office cards, which again helps you get more cards of the same color. Your second one, you'll get an additional income. So during that income phase at the beginning of the round, you'll get 1 additional income to the 5 that you start with by default, and so on and so forth. There's different bonuses. Now on your turn, if you end up purchasing one of these actors, you'll place it in front of you, and these do different things as well. You know, if we purchased this one, we'd go up 2 on the happiness track. Let's say this was blue, we'd go like this. Now anytime you reach or pass one of these odd numbers, you're going to get in a victory point right away, so blue would get one just like that. Now, conversely, let's say they didn't get this. Instead, let's say they got this clown here. This has them move up this track. This is the visitors, and they would just move up 1 in this case like this, but on the odd ones here, you'll get credits or money. So in this case, they'd immediately get 2 credits that they can use to spend on other things. Now, if you end up purchasing one of these red restaurant cards, again, you always pay. Some of them don't cost anything, some of them cost a lot. And they do different things. Like this one, immediately, you'd get 4 coins or credits, but at the end of the game, you're gonna lose a point. Where this one is, different things, 4 coins, same thing there, 4 coins and lose a credit. Now these have this little gear icon. Now at the beginning of the round, before you take turns, I told you get income, and that's that 5 credits by default, but this would give you an additional 1 or an additional 3 if you have that at that point in the game. And these cards also come with different icons that will match up with the different mascots as well. Now for the green hotel cards, again, they're going to have different icons than the other sets of cards. They're going to cost a certain amount. You got to place your workers as normal as I placed before, and these cards do all sorts of different things as well. For example, here, for every set of the different colored cards you have, you'll get a victory point at the end of the game. This one allows you to get 2 of these Take It Office cards, which remember, helps you gain more cards of the same color. This one is when you have the restaurant cards that give you an extra credit, you'll get an additional 1, and you don't have to give up a point at the end of the game. This one allows you, for example, to help with the blue set collection, which I'm going to go over at the end of the game. We'll use that card to help. Now remember, on your turn, you're simply going to be placing workers or taking all your workers back. And in this player order, once everyone's taken a turn, you'd go here, and after everyone's done that again, 3 and 4. So those are 4 rounds of turns, and at the end of this, that'll be the end of the first round. And also at the end of the round, any cards not purchased go to this discarded pile, and then 4 new cards will come out for each category of cards. Then players are going to be able to basically pick where they want to be in turn order for the next round. Now this essentially is first player. This is now going to be the next player clockwise, and they'll be the first one to pick, and then it's going to go clockwise. And if you go first, you get no bonus, but if you want to go second, you'll get a credit, third, you get a point, and so on and so forth. You'll get different bonuses. So players are going to essentially set where they want to go depending on bonuses and where they want to go in turn order. Now over the course of the game, you can get more workers. Sometimes you'll get cards that will give you workers, like in this case, 2 of them. Or sometimes you might go here and you'll get a credit, plus you can either move up the happiness track or the visitor track, or you can take a worker. And anytime you take an extra worker, it comes from here. If you've ever gotten all your workers, you basically have a bonus where when you're paying for a card, instead of, you can subtract 1 credit for giving up an extra worker, and you can do that up to 3 times when purchasing a card, but that's only if you have all your workers unlocked. Now these here are all achievements. Only 1 player per game can get each achievement. Like if you have all 9 workers, you'd get it. And when you get one, you put one of these little stars here, and in this case, you'd get a victory point. Or maybe the first to get 15 points, or 7 on either of these 2 tracks, or 5 cards of different types and things like that. And some cards, actually, if you have completed an achievement, you can unlock different things like going up 1 more in those different tracks, or getting an additional worker. Now I mentioned there's some bonuses by getting to the end of these tracks. If you get to the end of the happiness track, for the different colored cards, if you have 5 of any one of those colors, you'll get a point. And you can do that for each of the different colored cards. And if you get all the way to the end of the visitor track, at the end of the game, for every 5 credits that you get during the income phase, you'd get 1 point. So players will continue taking 4 turns per round until the end of the 7th round, then the game will end. And at the end of the game, to the points you already have on the board, you're going to add or subtract different points. Like some of the restaurants might make you lose a point if you took the 4 credits earlier. Or some of the cards will have end game bonuses, like for the different types of category icons you have that you see on the different cards. For however many different ones you have over all your cards, you'll get a certain amount of points. Then the blue cards will give you points for the different set collection on the bottom right blue icons. Here we have 3 different icons. We had this card, which adds another icon that we talked a little bit about earlier. So we have 4 different icons, 1 set of those. And as shown on the board, we have 4 sets of the blue icons. We'll get another 3 points. Then we look at the mascots. Now instead of this blue card, let's say we had this one. So here we have 1 of these, and we have 2 of these. So it's 2 times 1. So that is 2. Here we have the balloon here, and 2 here. So it's 1 times 2, which is another 2, so we're up to 4. Now we have 2 times 1, so it's another 2. So we have 6. You take that total, you divide it by 2. It's in this case 3, and if it's odd, you round down and you add that to your points. Whoever has the most at the end is the winner. Well, there you have Wishlands, and as I showed in the overview, you'll be building your own theme park using worker placement and some set collection as well. Now, if you'd like to see the final art and components and all the different pledge levels available, you can click the link below me in the description of this video, and it will take you directly to the Kickstarter project page, and I'm sure the fine folks at Lost Games Entertainment will love your support.